Good morning, family. I want to kind of give y'all an update before I start my day down here in Houston, Texas, and kind of want to give you a little bit of an update of what I've experienced over the last 2 days here in Houston. And yeah, I just got to share this thing real quick, family. Sorry about that. So I'm still down here in Houston. Sister Leah Shank has just joined me yesterday, and kind of want to let you know what is going on. So, uh, the bus loads of people have stopped coming into Houston. None came the last 2 days. One may come today. Um, One may come today. And so there's a group of Haitians here. They're called the Houston Haitians United, and they have been basically taking care of the Haitians that are coming through. So there is two things. First, there is a processing center, and that's where this place is like in a business park. And when you go there, it has like a sign for immigration and citizenship. And it looks like a warehouse kind of type building. And so they're processing people. The people who are running that building are Mormons. So, and then they're trying to work with the Haitian Action Network. And I'm saying this because I want African Americans, in particularly, to really hear me this morning, and why we must have some unity with Black folks, no matter where they come from. Unity is a must because we know some things about the United States and how things work that other groups may not know. Because when they're coming, they're needing assistance, and so it's kind of like when I go to other countries, I like to go with people who know the lay of the land and people who are indigenous in the land or natives in the land or been there forever, foundational, because they could tell me uh, how things work. You understand what I'm saying? And so yesterday when we went, there were a lot of Haitian people out there who flew in from all over the United States. So from New York, from Florida, from DC, just all over the place. There's a lot of Haitians that are here. And they flew in, and some of them were a part of the media, and none of them were allowed in yesterday. Me and Layla are on the docket to be volunteers today, whatever that looks like. Um, but Layla had the great idea of, well, let's figure out how did all of these Haitians now disappear? Because I guess the word from the White House is that I think they heard that Black Lives Matter was coming to the border. And so all of those Haitians, those thousands and thousands of Haitians, disappeared out of Del Rio. But the word is that they were taken to ICE camps all over Texas, I think New York and Arizona, I believe. Um, and with that being said, we looked up the local ISIS facility, and it is in here in Houston. It was about 5 minutes away from where we were at the processing center. So we went there, checked out the building, and then got some information that there are 5,000 Haitians inside of the ICE detention center. So today's mission is that we are going to check out ISIS and see what the process is. So what I want to say, it goes to everybody, but I have to speak to African Americans because I'm an African American and proud of it, that there's some things that we're supposed to be doing because we know the land a little differently. Sometimes people, I think we're all one, so don't get it twisted. But I also know some of us have historical information about what it means to be here in the U.S. And right now there's phases to this, right? So it's great. People gathered up supplies, took them to the border. I mean, took them wherever, brought them down. Pretty sure they did that here in Houston too. I've seen flyers and everything. Protesting is another one. I heard that there were protests all over the country, or at least in certain cities, about the Haitians, right? Beautiful. The next part is now, even if you decide to protest, you may want to take it to the place where the people are. because there needs to be some answers on why they're detaining 5,000 people, 1,000 people, 500 people, whatever, in these detention centers, and in the ICE detention centers. And then it needs to be on the diplomatic side that we need to reach out to ISIS and see what the process is of helping people find their way in the United States, because those people deserve to stay. And I'll be honest with you, the ISIS building to me looks a little bit like a prison. Barbed wire around the top of it. I mean, it's, it don't look like a very inviting place. So today I'm going to do my best to get inside there, me and Layla, to see how we can, bring some solution. I feel like Black people, we know this. We know America. We really know her. And so we have to lend our support. One of the reasons why I'm stomping so hard for Haiti, let me just be very clear. Haiti was the first Black nation in the Western Hemisphere to free itself. And ever since they've done that, they are being punished, you know? And so, yeah, they have issues politically. They have a lot of stuff because our government has helped to make it unstable. And I think that sometimes what makes it really hard for me to believe in the Black caucus, to believe in political structures that we know do not like Black folks to have any kind of independent thought. We know that they will support Latinos, they will support Afghans, they'll support, whatever people coming. But when you come and you're Black, I mean, you're really Black. Not like I think I could be mixed with Black back from 1720. I'm talking about I've been Black my whole life, people. Then there's all of this by the book, and we can't even think straight sometimes. And it's really sad because what will make us all free is our unity. And so we have African Americans, we have pieces to this puzzle that other people don't have. And we cannot be afraid to help other people. It don't mean we gonna have less. See, this is what cracks me up. We know that when other groups who come here who are not Black, they immediately go 50 million steps ahead of Black folks. So even though they tell us, oh, we're all of color, that really has nothing to do with it, because there is no such thing as being of color. Everybody else is of what they are. They're of what they are. They don't fight for their rights and then be like, we're going to help Black folks. That's never happened in history. We have fought for everyone, but other groups have not fought for us. They just kind of ride our backs. The Haitians are different because they are us. I don't know if y'all know that on January, when President Biden took his place in office, they immediately started deporting Africans and Haitians. And so we don't have to question our loyalty, family, though, because I didn't vote for Joe Biden, but I didn't vote for Donald Trump either. I voted for Jill Stein. I'll be honest about that, because I know California was going to go to the Democrats anyway, so it didn't even fucking matter. I think we got to come out of those party lines, because that's another vice that holds Black people back. The Democrats don't never deliver to Black folks any of the shit they say they gonna do. Matter of fact, we don't even ask for no list of demands. We still asking for shit that we should already be having. So, funding historically Black college, that ain't got nothing to do with me. They're serious. Or anybody in my line. People in my family went to college, they went to regular old college. So it's kind of like we just get these, these deals that people make for us, but they're not for all of us as Black folks. It's not something that can generically help us across the board. Like when those Afghanis get here, they're going to get all kind of rights and money and be owning buildings that we can't even get. And we've been here forever. So I feel like helping the Haitians helps us all. Who do you think your daughters are going to marry? Who do you think is going to help? I mean, they are clearly Black. They're clearly Black. I don't know how else to say that. And so if we got to see this thing through, family, we got to see it through. Protesting is one thing. That's beautiful. Being all riled up and rah, it's beautiful. But if we don't have a plan to see this through, if we don't have a plan that, hey, what is ICE for real? How can they hold all these Haitians? And there's people who want to help them. You know what I mean? That we can't even, um, it's hard. It's just because see, here's the other thing, y'all. The Haitians that are here, they kind of full, and they may not be able to move the way we're able to move. All of us, Black folks, we have different things that we contribute to the unity of who we are. And so we should definitely be on wherever you live. Yeah, you should be calling your city council member, but you also should be reaching out to other Haitian organizations to find out what it is that they do and how we can be supporting each other. Last night, I was on a call with some Haitians in Sacramento. Even though I'm here in Houston, we was on a Zoom call, and Sister Javon was on it with me. And so they exist. They like blended into us because I could have walked past all them Haitians on the street and not even know that they had been Haitian. I was just thought they was African American. I mean, seriously, so we need to really figure out how to bridge the unity between us. We got to do it, family. We got to do it. We cannot afford to do it. Okay, sis, I'm gonna give you my phone number. Thank you, sis. Hold on, I'm gonna type my cell phone number in here. It ain't gonna kill me. I'll type that in for you, sis, and then I'll post it. And then there's my phone number. So I don't know no other way of saying it. So today my mission is to get all this information from ICE. Also, I'm going to tap in with the Black community that I know here in Houston. But I'm urging Black people around the country, find the Haitians in your community. There's all kind of Haitian organization. There is the Houston Haitian United, Houston Haitians United. Let me see if I can pull that contact information over. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can share this with y'all. This is imperative. Now, so another thing that drives me, Rolanda, is history. So I know where Black folks have been in history. I always have to tell you, I'm not a person who just showed up and read 5 books, and that was how I was raised. That you must know your people. You must know. So I'm gonna highlight the information. What really impressed me about the Haitian Houston United, for all you young activists who talk about youth is where it is, most of them was all young people I seen. They had to help people, get their bus tickets, send them to where they're going. The few family they was able to locate for people. So the Haitians that I interfaced with, they all were people who were families at this hotel we went to, and they had somebody who stood up for them and sent them that way. So they were sent. Then some of the people were tested. They were testing people who had COVID. They had to quarantine them in the hotel. So these young people were bringing them food, bringing them cell phones, contacting their families, and making sure. I met a young brother from New York that was there, and it was a family, a husband and wife and children who sponsored backed out. Not sponsored this, I gotta stop saying that. The person that was going to assist them when they get to the city, because there's a difference when you say sponsor. We're going to assist them to support them while they go through the process of applying for asylum. That person backed out, so I watched this young brother find someone for them to go to. So they were going to New York with him. And so they're just incredible young people. This is their information. That's their website, of course, but that's their information. Reach out to them, ask them, young sisters and brothers, and there's some elders there too, but ask them how we can support them. I'm pretty sure they exist in every city. Okay, so that's one place. Then in Sacramento, we have a place called a group that's called Haitians Association of Sacramento Surrounding Areas. So it's HASSA, Haitian Association of Sacramento Surrounding Areas. And that's another group. I could get you their information because I didn't see they had a website. I was on the phone with a bunch of them last night, and they were very nice. But also sometimes as a Haitian person, you can feel a bit isolated. Because let's be honest, family, just like in their group, like in our group, what exists for us is all of the elements of Black folks that sometimes keep us apart, So we know here in the U.S., we have, Yeah, I will get to that, cuz. Thank you for that's a great question. Um, so we know that even in our elements as African Americans, we have warrior people, we have people who hold up systems that oppress all of us, we have and everything in between. Well, every group has that. Every group has that. Every group has people who will go all in and people who will reserve thinking about what about me? So this really depends. So, but what I figure out with the Haitians, they're the only group who's treated the way that they're treated when it comes to immigration. And Black folks, we like this is supposed to be Hispanic Heritage Month, Hispanic Heritage, sorry, month, and ask me how many Black people they're showing for Hispanics when we know that there are more Black Hispanics or so-called Latinos than there are African Americans. And I don't know how many of y'all really know that there's more Black people in Latin America than there are in the United States. But when you look at this Hispanic Heritage Month, uh, how many of them are you going to see? Because we know that they exist. So being Black and racism is a worldwide thing. That's how every country is. When I went to Mexico and studied the so-called third root, it ended up being the first root. That's number one. But it also talks about people of African descent plight in Latin America, in Mexico, because that's where I was when I was learning. So we know that this thing that we experience, they experience too. And everybody got, people who are down and ain't down. So we can't say, well, I met some Haitians before and they were a certain way. Yeah, that's that one. Okay. I can say that about Black people, but it don't make me stop trying to help African Americans. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely met some people that I want to rip their head off, but I know that was just them at the end of the day, that more of us is good than not. You know what I mean? And I tend not to attract people who are selfish or who are gamers. I stay away from people like that. That's not my culture. And I'm very clear on that. So I feel like I'm trying to help people who are like me. And so reaching out to the Haitian organizations in your area and start to build those bonds, because unity is a must, family. And I'm not talking about generic unity where we make up all kind of signs and hashtags and bullshit like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about really connecting with people. The one thing about Haiti that is written into their constitution, under Dessalines, okay, is that if you get to Haiti and you Black, you automatically become a Haitian. I don't know how many of y'all knew that or not. So that's why they are clearly Black folks. Not kind of Black, like I could be Black on the weekends. I'm Black when I go to concerts with Black people. No, they're very Black. And they're very proud of that. And so they don't have this thing where they're trying to tell you they mix with 1,000 things. Like I'm not into that confusion, because to me that's confusion. When people see me, they see an African woman. When people see me, they see a big Black woman. That's what they see. And so I am relying on the strength of my ancestors from what I've been taught, what I've witnessed growing up, that we must take care of each other. So I'm asking you, family, please reach out to the Haitian organizations in your community. You can look them up on the internet and find them. Reach out to your city council member. Reach out to the mayor. We should all be on our mayors. Like, what's up? What's up? And if they tell you that they're going to help, please call your federal representative. That's really nice. We are doing that. We're going to do that. But what is our plan? Because if you're welcoming Afghan refugees or whatever we call them, now it's about the language, then you could definitely do something to help the Haitians. Tell us what we're supposed to do. Because in most cities, Black folks save their mayor's ass all the time. We stomp for them. We do all kind of stuff. Even if your mayor is a Black person, really be on their head. Be on their head anyway. But we need to hear some responses. Black folks, you have a lot of power. African American people, we have a lot of power. Foundational Black Americans. I love that term. We have a lot of power. And so we cannot, family, be selfish. I asked somebody, and that's why I love talking to Sister Javon, because she's constantly educating me. And I have tremendous respect for Javon, because she's not a talker and she don't do philosophies. She just do work. Javon said, how do you think all the Latinos got into this country? How do you think all the people of Asian ancestry got into this country? Did we really think they all applied for asylum? Did we really think they all came in here the right way? You know, I've heard even some black people say the most ignorant stuff I've ever heard. Like, they got to come in here the right way. Shut up. You think all the Latinos came in here the right way? We have to sometimes check our own white supremacy supporting self. You hear me? We have to check our own white supremacy supporting self. Because if we're talking like the way our oppressor talked about us to Haitians, that means that we are now participating in oppression. And you don't get to claim victim while you're helping to participate in the oppression of another people. You have just lost your damn right to do that. So I don't want nobody coming. I had to cut somebody out that I totally adore because I heard them coming with that rah-rah. And I was like, do you know who the hell you talking to? Like, you don't get to do that. Because here's the real truth, family. See, if we really understood history, not some fantasy shit, but real history, Haitians from Santo Domingo, as it was called back in the day, which is now Haiti and the DR, Dominican Republic, they were coming back and forth between Charleston and all those places when white people was doing their business dealing as slave holding people. So you don't know, most of us don't even know that most Black Americans, not all, because I'll never say all, but a lot of us have at least one immigrant or some kind of Black, some kind of ancestor that is Black from another country in our DNA, because they come and they blend into Black folks. I know I have that in my family. Sister Javon has it in her family. And I'm not talking about all of us coming here on the ship, because I get that, because we all got here like that. I mean, most of us have, but I'm talking about those people who were enslaved. And then right after slavery, people were coming back and forth between a lot of islands, the Bermuda, Jamaica, any parts of the Caribbean. And we just didn't talk about that in our families. And the only reason why white supremacy get to be as powerful as it is and to be on its game the way it is because we help them do it by holding up systems that are oppressive to people who look like us. And at some point, y'all, we got to check that, because that's a problem when we do it. If you want to be those freedom fighters like Harriet Tubman, like our ancestors, then we have to stand up now. We have to use the power that we have. See, sometimes another trick that our enemy has that works so well on us, it will make us believe that we are powerless. Because most of the times when you see us, we fighting for shit like welfare and we begging people to like us. But we really don't even have to do that. Because all we got to do is just stand up. There's a lot of power in who we are. You know, it's a power in understanding what happened to our ancestors and how we get to be here now. And then once we start to unite with people who are like us, then we become even more powerful. So, family, I just want to come to y'all, give y'all that update. You know, we got to find out now, because this is the next part of this phase. So they cleared out Del Rio, like within 24 hours. Tell me what our government can't do. You know, they're really good at containing drugs to just certain people. They're really good at getting treatment for people on opioids, but lock up people who smoke crack. They're really good at, don't tell me what they can't do, because that would be a lie. Now the next phase, then they cleared out the Haitians within like 24 hours. That was amazing, family. So now we got to figure out, where did they take all of the Haitian migrants to? Where did they take our sisters and brothers to, family? I've been to Haiti 3 times. You got to understand the history. It is not as simple as going back to a country and fixing it up. Like, it's just really not. And when people say shit like that, it's like, you really don't know how to self-govern. You can't even help people in your own damn community. Because if that's simple, why ain't you fixed up your community? You here in the United States. Stop talking like that. Stop talking like that. You pointing your finger at somebody to do something, you got 3 fingers pointing back at you. Stop talking like that. Stop with the judgment pieces. Stop talking like that. That's a question that people be asking us, why we can't do stuff in our community, and not understanding the systematic oppression sometimes that show up in a representative be looking square like us. And there's no way to explain to people, well, like, no, we know that this is a big beast, but you can always beat the beast. We all, no matter if you're in America or if you're in the Caribbean or if you're in Central America, South America, on the continent of Africa, there's always been a way to beat this beast. But if we stand with each other in solidarity, don't always wait for white folks to make us do solidarity. We should be doing it because it's the right thing to do. I seen some babies yesterday at the hotel. They were the cutest little babies. Oh, they was in there braiding people's hair and, fixing their folks up. And I thought to myself, this is beautiful. Because I remember people braiding my hair when I was a kid. I remember people taking care of me if my mother was at work and we came home from school. The neighbors would be like, hey, your mom at work, the dinner's on a so-and-so and so. Y'all, they looked out for us. This is one of those moments. Now we got to get on the phone and find out where the hell is our people. What do y'all intend to do with them in ICE? How can we step up and support those families? Because, Nikki, I want you to call me. And I could tell you, because when you host someone, it's kind of like you have to be responsible for them for like 6 to 7 months, because they'll be going through a process where they're going through the process of trying to claim asylum or get their refugee status. And once they get their refugee status, then they get like all the benefits and they can go get jobs and do whatever. So here's the funny part about that, because they say you can't work during that time. I live in California. Latinos have a whole underground economy that people still earn money. Asians have a whole underground economy. And you trying to tell me that black folks can't do it? Are you out your damn mind? Right on, cuz. Someone gave me a whole background on that yesterday. Haitians need to escape because of stress. Yep, we're trying to escape political structure in their own country. Same thing. So yeah. But then they have to apply. And this is the other thing. When you're a, what's the word the person gave me yesterday? An unauthorized person, then it's a little different. See all these words they come up with? But yet we live in America where we have sanctuary cities, and people who have sanctuary cities get all the benefits. My city is one. San Francisco's one. So sanctuary cities mean that they still get the benefits like everybody else. You mean to tell me you don't have room for some Haitians? And see, what y'all don't really understand, I want y'all to hear me this morning. What y'all really don't understand is like we don't have room for black folks because we don't want the black folks we got. So you think we're going to really go help some black people? We don't even want the black people we got. You feel me? So we got to fight, family. This is a real fight. I want to put Nikki's comments up. This is a real fight, family. This is a real fight. This is the fight that our ancestors fought to get free. And here the Haitians are coming into our country asking us, I let them know when I seen them that we got you. Y'all got back up. Some of us want to help. We just don't know how. That's why I'm down here. That's why they sent me down here. I always tell people I'm here because of my community. I'm here because of my ancestors sent me to ask, what can I do to help? What do y'all need? What do y'all need? You know, people has cash app me money to help them. I cashed app it right to the Houston Haitians United, because I watched them buy people clothes, food. People donated some stuff, but you got to wash the stuff that people send you. But they also cook these people food, their traditional food. You know what I mean? Which was beautiful. Um, Family, we just got to do better. Because here's the truth: if they don't make it, we don't make it. If we don't make it, they don't make it. We're so tied together. We're so tied together. When we really begin to understand the history, this is all our ancestors making us come together. We just don't have a choice. This morning I'm gonna be going into working with these ICE people. I'm like, I've heard some things about them, but I'm just going in. I don't have a choice. I don't, because they're banking on us. If we made them all disappear, maybe they'll disappear from our consciousness. Because Black folks, some of us are like trendy people. We go with whatever's trending, and there we are. Was ever trending, and there we are. And then when it go away, we forget about it. The same way we forgot how Joe Biden locked up all those Black men in the 1990s, which is a lot of Black women in my era did not get husbands because all the Black men were locked up. But we quickly forgave him, but cannot forgive our sister or brother. Here's a man who stuck his whole career locking up Black men in particular. Some Black women too, but mainly Black men. And now we're watching him do the same shit with the Haitians at the border. And some of us are still talking about he has a good heart. Like, give me a damn break. Slavery is over. Free yourself. Call his man what he is. Hold his feet to the fire. Him and Kamala, this has got to stop. And we have the power to do it. And we do. We look here, sis. I'm fighting because they're like our reinforcements. Because we all know that the Black number is dwindling. Let's not play with this. Let's not play with this. We need them here. The Haitians are like what our ancestors were straight out of slavery. They dominant as hell. So of course you see all them Black people come up on the border, it's gonna scare the hell out you. People be scared if they see 3 Black people together on the corner. So you know what they're gonna do if they see 15,000 Haitians up on the border. I just wish we had known early enough so we could have got down there on the other side, because you have to have witnesses in history. You really do. You really do. Was Kamala is doing what she's doing, helping to lock up Black people. That's her damn job. But we got to stop being so in love with just people who we think are for us. I always look at your track record. I look at your track record. That's what I look at. So I don't just support people just because they Black and they look cute or they got a good job and we should be like, I learned from my ancestors in history. I learned. There was all those little things that got us caught up in the first place. And my thing is, you live long enough and you never catch up. Like, you read stuff, but you don't understand stuff. We read stuff, but you read stuff, I feel you. Thank you for that perspective, sis. They're my ancestors. I'm their descendant. It's all good. Ascended, descendant, I think is beautiful. I think I don't want to get caught up in semantics. I know that I'm an African. And so when I look at my great great grandmother's picture, unlike most people, she was born in 1817. She lived to be 103. And when I look at her, I feel like I'm looking at the Haitian people when I look at her. And I know when they made their trek from Virginia, from South Carolina, from the Geechee Islands up into Pennsylvania, somebody had to be on the other side waiting to help them. That's what I mean about genetic memory. I think we forget about our genetic memory. So I think about my ancestors all the time. And that's why I'm down here trying to help the Haitian people, because it's like helping my ancestors. It's like helping me. You know what I mean? It's like helping me. And I know that's what they would do if they were here. I would want somebody to say, "Oh, they country folk. We ain't trying to help them. They ghetto. They, I don't do any of that stuff." So, family, that's pretty much my update. I was trying to I always like showing this picture of my grandmother. I don't know. I just feel like I can never thank them enough for surviving. I can never thank them enough for getting up, trying, no matter how many times the world was trying to knock them down and knock them out. They still turned right back around and got right back up. And I can never thank them enough. That's really why I'm here. To be honest with you, that's really why I'm here. I'm here because my ancestors did not lay down and die. This is one of my ancestors right here. It's my great great grandmother who lived to be 103. She was born in 1817. So no, I don't get to act like, I'm American now, and so I'm gonna treat people the way people treated us and walk on our backs. I just don't get the chance to do. I don't get the opportunity to do that because that's not what they created me for. I don't get to act like I don't see black people suffering and I just can be like, well, hey, my folks, we doing fine. You never gonna catch me doing that. Because I know my ancestors will come up literally up out the grave on my head. Karma will rain down on me like I've never seen karma do before. I would never do that. I would never, ever, ever do that. And so we're all supposed to be reporting the duty, family. We should care about what's happening with the Haitians. We need them. They are our reinforcement. I can't say that enough. They are our reinforcement. So we need to fight like hell for them. We need to know, well, where did they go? How did you move all them people off the border like that? How did you do that? They surely did have a network. Right on, sis. I am, we are. Right on. Right on. So that's what the update is, family. Right now, our people are in ICE, so we need to get on their head. The interesting thing, when we went to the ICE building yesterday, I didn't see no protesters out there because everybody is at the border, but the border's been cleared out because down there at ICE and some of the ICE facilities around that southern border, So that's what's going on, family. Please share this video, share the information. I put my number up there, so if y'all need to reach out to me, please do. I'm getting ready to, when I hang up with you all, I'm gonna get dressed. Excuse me, I'm gonna get dressed for the day. I had to do this on to go downstairs and get some tea because I didn't have any tea up here. So I didn't have any tea up here, so I had to go get me some tea. I'm still on this plant-based journey. Yeah. Hey, this sister right here is another writer. That's right. Let's get it, sis. We own it. Right on, sis. So that's the update, family. Please, please, please. As I said it again, there are a lot of layers to this. One layer is calling your representative, calling your mayors, everything, especially where there are big numbers of us. Get on your city council. The next thing is to definitely march and protest, but bring it down to ICE. Bring it on down. And then another thing is to, stand up where you can. Connect with those Haitian people and organizations in your community. The Haitian community is not like other communities. Other communities, they come to America, they're welcome. They're human beings. It's something about when you're that purpley black, then immediately people don't have room. It's kind of like when you go rent an apartment and then they see your black face and they be like, oh, we rented that out already. I'm sorry. That's kind of what they're doing to the Haitians. That's why they was on horseback on their ass like that. And we all know it to be true, but we up here really struggling. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Shug. For real, sis. We do need to fight like hell. Yeah, I had to go downstairs to get the tea. That's my sister Leah. She's here with me. Leia's here with me. So I had to go get some tea because otherwise I couldn't wake up. And then yeah, no, Sister IDC, you know what? Our ancestors is like, stay on your post. I got you. Stay on your post. When I take my great nephew to school 3 days a week, my sister's taking him this week because, of course, I'm not there. I want every Haitian kid to have that same opportunity. When my nephew's asking me 1,000 questions and we laughing and joking, when I see Haitian children, I see him. When I see those mothers and those fathers, I see my mother and father. I see my sisters and my nieces and nephews and brothers, and they all deserve the right to be here. They have the right to exist. They have the right to all the rights that my ancestors fought for and built this country with. We don't let other people who did not work at all on this country, they was here on the backs of my ancestors, tell us that we can't come in. What kind of crap is that? Right on, sis. Me too. I think all of us were triggered. I know I was. And then the crazy part, most of those people on the border in those positions and jobs were Latinos. And just this time last year, we was down there, a lot of us were down there fighting about kids in cages. Haven't seen many of them. Do you know top of your head any black bones? I don't, sis. I really don't. I don't know any. So yeah, those images was like, but I also think that was, yeah. I also felt like this is also our ancestors reminding us, those of us who this is open, they're reminding us this ain't over. So get up and get on your square. Again, family, I'm gonna share these two, this information here. Please reach out to these organizations. One of them is the Haitian Action Network. These sisters and brothers are out the bay. Brother Pierre, I love him. This is our people, family. I'm trying to find that information. If you go to their page, then you can put your information in. I think they have an email down here. Okay. And then the other person, the other group, I was trying to get their information, even though I put it in the other place, these young people. Houston is like ground zero, if you will. And that is for the Houston Haitians United. And this is their contact information. There's a sister there named Stephanie, young sister. She on it. And I guess yesterday, it's a whole story, y'all, because what y'all don't know is that who runs that processing center are Mormons. Mormons run the processing center. Ain't that some shit? And I think to myself, how do the Mormons run the processing center? I thought they was in Utah. Oh, well. Interesting, huh? Yeah, very interesting. I thought that was interesting because I really thought they was in Utah. I really did. But I guess they're running the processing center and down here in Houston. Okay. We better wake the hell up. We better come out of our churches and figure out how we could do that so we can help. It's interesting because they're going to break their neck to keep us apart. But we're going to break our neck getting together. They're not going to break us from our people. Not going to do it. They can come up with all the laws in the books. We're going to be right there outside fighting for our people. So family, that's all I got for y'all. Check in with y'all. If not tonight, tomorrow morning. I'm still here in Houston. And if any of y'all have any connections to people in the Houston community, I know I have a few things. Yeah, that's it, sis. I'm not playing. They Mormons. So I was like, that's interesting. And thank you so much, sister, for putting the Haitian Action Network. And then there's also in Sacramento, there is the Haitian Association of Sacramento surrounding area. So I have contacts for them too. Yeah. So anyway, family, I'm going to get up out of here because I got to get dressed so I can get on my mission for today. Y'all have a blessed and awesome day.